Has it ever happened to you that you're scrolling on YouTube and you see a face in the thumbnail that looks really attractive? Your brain instantly creates a perception of them. You just assume that they must be very well spoken and desired and respected by the people. You see them like this pure, elegant angel. But when you click on the video and you see them behaving in a certain way, that perception changes completely. You may even start thinking that they are so cringe and disgusting. In the world of psychology, this is called shattering of the halo effect. However, the opposite of this is also a thing. Where you know someone who has a very vibrant social life, he knows how to talk to people and everyone around him treats him like a very attractive person. But if you were to objectively judge that person's looks, when you break down that person's facial features, their height, their skin and their overall body shape, they are below average. If the same person with the same looks were to behave in a different way, he would get a very different treatment. In this video, I'll break down how attractiveness is an illusion and how you can use psychology to be treated like an attractive person. The first way is by using the reverse halo effect. So human brain is very lazy. It makes a lot of assumptions based on people's appearance. If you look at this photo for example, you assume that this guy is very dangerous. His personality is going to be very aggressive. And if you look at this photo, you just assume that this person is going to be rich. This is what we call the halo effect. When you look at attractive people, your brain just assumes that they are going to be rich, they are going to be intelligent, competent, kind, respected and desired by other people. The reverse halo effect is the opposite of this. People who are kind, who are rich, who are happy, they are rated as more physically attractive. Not an attractive personality, people think you look better when you have these traits. There are a lot of researches on this and in this video, I break them down. In some cases, people doubled their attractiveness. They went from being below average to quite attractive just by showing these traits. Now, some of you might think that how am I supposed to get rich for being more attractive? And here's the thing, you don't have to be rich. No one is really going to check your bank account. You just have to wear the kind of clothes that makes you look rich. And by this, I'm not talking about some branded expensive clothes. Just a plain nice shirt along with some formal pants will make you look rich. The more formal you are, the better. A proper formal suit is the best choice, but most people cannot wear it for normal day-to-day stuff. So shirts and pants are the second choice. There are shirts that are semi-formal, so you can also try them. And this is the second point, which is fashion. The kind of clothes you wear need to highlight your best parts and hide your weakest parts. If you have very attractive arms, wear short sleeve clothes. If you are small and you want to look big, wear slim fit, tighter clothes. If you want to look taller, wear vertical line patterns. And if you want to look wider, wear horizontal line patterns. The psychology of fashion is a huge topic and I plan to make a video on that as well, so look forward to it. The next method is called halo effect by hypercompetence. Basically, when you are extremely talented at something, people ignore your looks and just assume that you are very attractive. A lot of singers, sports players and actors are the perfect example of this. Take The Weeknd for example. Compared to some model, his facial features are not very great. His height is average, but he is treated as more attractive compared to most models. You don't have to be that good at something, but being very talented at something and showing that talent is going to make you more attractive. There are researches where people who give speeches are perceived as more attractive. It is quite difficult. One of the biggest fears people have is public speaking. But because it is so difficult, it is valuable. If it were easy, anyone would do it. It would lose its value. You don't even have to give a huge speech in a huge auditorium with thousands of people. Just a small speech in a small room with a few people is good enough. It makes you look confident and more like a leader. The next technique is called pre-selection. Basically, when there are two photos of the same person in the same place, one where he is alone and other where he is with an attractive woman, he is rated as more attractive in the second photo. Psychologically, the way it works is that when your brain sees a normal person being treated like an attractive person, it thinks that maybe this person is attractive but I'm not able to say it. And so you treat him like an attractive person. Now you don't have to do something extraordinary for this. Just taking more photos with more people, with more friends is good enough, because social people are rated as more attractive. The next technique is very nuanced, which is called the Pretfall effect. I hope I'm saying that correctly. It only works when you already are attractive and respected and you want to take that attraction to the next level. You do that by showing vulnerability. So perfect people who look very good, who are very talented, are highly unapproachable. Approaching a normal person with average looks is more easier compared to approaching this hypothetically perfect person. The more perfect you are, the more difficult you become to talk to. But when a perfect person shows vulnerability, they are perceived as highly attractive and highly approachable. A lot of movies movies, anime, and fictional books use this principle. There is a character who looks perfect, very intelligent, very competent, very good looking, and people almost start hating him for being so perfect. But when he talks about how he went through so many things as a kid, people start loving him. This is the reason why for so many shows, people love villain more than hero. On the surface, the villain looks like a bad guy. He is very powerful, very dangerous. He seems pretty much perfect. But when you see his backstory, you see how he lost his parents when he was a kid and how so many people took advantage of him. And all of that turned him into a villain. You start loving him. But like I said, this only works if you already are attractive and respected. So keep that in mind. The next thing is the most obvious one, which is body language. This is a huge topic, so I'll cover the basics. The first one is your posture. Do not be too hunched or too arched. Both of them are the wrong postures. The correct posture is the one where your height is maximum. Your spine is slightly arched, but that is fine. Also, do not be too stiff because your body needs some movement to make you look like a human. Your body needs to have a relaxed body language. And for doing that, drop your shoulders. If I sit like this is too stiff. This makes me look calm and in control. The next thing is the expressions, and this is like a huge topic. So for example, if you're being too much like this and your mouth is open, it makes you look confused. If my eyebrows are up like this, I look surprised. The good thing is you don't have to remember all of this. Your brain has specific regions which evolved for thousands of years to understand expressions. You already know what different expressions can be. The only thing you have to do is to have more control over your expressions. The next thing is taking more space, which indicates confidence. You can do this in two ways. One is to expand your body language. So for example, if I sit like this, I'm taking less space. If I'm sitting like this, I'm taking more space. When walking, for example, your legs need to be a little apart. If they are too close, it indicates that you are too afraid to take space. And the other way is by using your stuff to take more space. If you are sitting somewhere, for example, and you have a phone and a bottle of water, you can keep them at some distance. It indicates that you own the space, that you're confident. If you keep your things too close to you, let's say your phone is in your pocket and your bottle of water is in your hands, you're gripping it too tightly, it indicates a lack of confidence and low self-esteem. And last but not the least for body language is eye contact. This again is obvious, but people still fuck it up. There are two kinds of people. One who don't hold eye contact at all. They are afraid to look people in the eyes. And two who try too hard, who hold too much eye contact and they make it very weird. There has to be a balance. You need to look natural, and for doing that, you need to make eye contact but keep breaking it. The ratio can be 70-30. 70% of times you're making eye contact, 30% of times you're not. The next thing is your speaking skills. This again is a huge topic, and my next video is going to be on this topic. But for this video, I will tell you the basics. The single biggest mistake a lot of people make is how they end their sentences. If you end your sentences in higher tone like this, you sound very uncertain, and every sentence you speak sounds like a question, and all your sentences sound so incomplete, and it sounds like you're seeking approval from the person you're talking to. And for stopping that, add a full stop. Imagine every sentence you speak with a full stop. Even when asking questions, add a full stop. Do not ask questions like, what is the time right now? That sounds so underconfident. Ask, what is the time right now? With a full stop. You sound significantly more better. The next thing is your speed. People who speak fast are perceived as less confident. It is like you're thinking, what I'm saying is not important, so I will speak faster so that I don't bother people. People who speak slower with more pauses, especially more pauses, are perceived as significantly more confident. It indicates that I can speak with whatever speed I want to, and people listen to what I have to say. A lot of CEOs, politicians, people who give speeches in front of thousands of people, they are specifically trained for this. And then there is your pitch. People speaking with a relaxed tone, with a deeper voice, sound more competent. Deeper voice is the kind of voice you have in the morning, where your vocal cords are quite relaxed. The next thing is how you smell. In a research where people were supposed to rate other people's photos, but they smelled something bad before that, every photo's ratings went down. But when they smelled something nice before rating the photos, all the photos' ratings went up. Psychologically speaking, bad smell indicates that you have some sort of disease. It triggers other people's brains that they have to be away from you. On the other hand, good smell indicates hygiene. The next thing is your environment. Photos taken at dull, gloomy places like some Indian government office looks very unattractive, and photos taken at bright, rich-looking places looks very attractive. There are also other factors like the camera quality. Take a look at this comparison, for example. One of them looks very cinematic, very aesthetic. The other one not so much. In this case, the reason is the background blur. When human eye is focusing on something, everything else around it is completely blurred. You can try to do this right now. Take a finger, look at it, and try to notice everything else around the finger. You will notice that everything else is blurred. Only your finger is very sharp. And the same logic is applied to photos. The background blur looks aesthetic because psychologically speaking, it replicates human eyes. The image looks real, and the camera seems expensive. Generally, taking photos outdoors in some bright places where the environment looks rich is preferable. Even for indoor photos, if the environment is bright, it looks rich and it looks spacious, it looks pretty good. However, there are some really good exceptions to this. Take a look at this photo for example. It looks quite dull, it looks very blurry, and yet it looks very attractive. The same goes for my YouTube profile picture. It is quite dark, but it still looks good. And the reason is mystery. If you take a photo where everything is not visible, but what is visible looks really good, your brain just assumes that what is not visible must also look good. If I ask you to rate this person's face, even though it is not visible, most of you would say 7, maybe an 8 out of 10, maybe even more, because what is visible looks good. While in reality, her face can be below average. And this is what you need to do with your photos. Show your best parts, keep everything else very vague, hide your weakest parts, and let people's imagination take over. If you have amazing hair, for example, but your face is kind of average, take a photo where only your hair is visible. If you're short, your face is not very attractive, but you built an amazing body, take a selfie where your legs are not visible, so your height is not that obvious, and your face is covered with your phone, while your body is visible. If you have some weird rashes or something on your skin, hide that by blurring the photo. Now, the psychology of taking photos is a huge topic, and if you want me to make a video on that, let me know in the comments. And aside from these things, what is also important is social skills. And to improve your social skills, check out this video.